What's up? Alexo Crypto. What are we looking at here? Are we trading? Are we not? Do we got the dump? The SEC won't let me be. Hope you're all well. Shout out to you guys. Let's get it going. Let's jump on. Let's say hello to you guys in the chat. Shout out to you guys in the chat. If you're not in the chat right now, throw us a comment down below. Like and subscribe to the channel. We're growing daily. And join us in the Discord because we're getting trade setups. But if you looked at the video yesterday, it said it was going to dump. I mean, your thumbnail spelt it out for you. But here we are. And we've come down. Let's take a look. Hunting for a trade. Steve H. Well, aren't we all? We just had a big wick down. A little fake out, in my opinion. Look how quickly we moved back up here. Getting people. I actually missed my long by like 120. So I'm looking down below here. We were talking about this yesterday. Thank you so much for joining us on the live. I appreciate you. And let's go over my thoughts and ideas because Gary Gensler, Mr. SEC himself, has destroyed the markets. He has turned off staking. He attacked Kraken. And that's not good because if you can't stake in the US, people are going to be upset. It's not good for the whole environment. Easy target for the SEC. You know, Kraken is a smaller exchange. They didn't go after Coinbase or Binance US. They went after Kraken. But it goes to show you how fast and how quick a little bit of news can affect the markets that we're in right now. Right? So we have to be prepared. Now, how do we prepare for something like this on the 3-day? We're getting the 5-day red dot. We've been waiting for this one to print. Well, it hasn't printed yet. We'll know by Wednesday. But we see here that we've been calling for a short. We've seen exhaustion. We're going to get to the levels, the supports, the resistances. The weekly looked very, very bearish because we had, look at this. Now this triangle has played out, I would say. It's played out. It's not done yet. I don't think it's done yet. Can we see the same kind of thing work its way back down? Well, we have some key levels of support. Like I said, I was looking for a long trade right now. I'm also considering laddering into a short because who wants to ride this wave? I was in a short from yesterday. I took profits way too early because I didn't think the dump was going to happen so immediately. But guess what? It's here. It's happening. A little bit of news. It's all it needs to push it over the edge. You can see that we're in this beautiful range. We have broken underneath it, right? We had an alarm set up there. Well, guess what? I'm deleting that alarm now because we don't need it. Going through market cipher. We can see money flow is coming out. We can see that we are exhausted up here at the top. We can see a steady decline on the daily, right? Going to the 18, we can see we worked our way down. Can we get this beautiful, beautiful divergence? Maybe, eventually, but let's wait. Right now, we are pushing downwards, right? We can see on the 12-hour, money flows coming out, RSI and stochastics is splitting. We have a very steep incline on this, right? It's very steep, which means we're coming down, right? Look at this, 10-hour blood diamond printed, right? This could have been an early signal to what was going to come, right? It takes at least 2 days for a 10-hour candle to play out. Well, look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 candles, 10 hours, 10 times 2, that's 40 hours. That's 2 days minus 8 hours plus 8 hours. That's it, right? See, quick math. Quick math. We say math in Canada, not maths. Me and the missus We always have discrepancy there because she's British and she says maths, and I say math, and she's right because she says it's mathematics. It's not math, mathematics. It's mathematics. Anyways, little side tangent there. So, laddering into a short is kind of an idea. Looking for a swing failure pattern, another idea. Right? How are we going to get into these? Where are our setups? Where are our levels? We're going to get into all that. Right now, we're looking at market Cipher. So, on the 8 hour, we've come down. Money flow is coming out, right? Money flow is a long determining indicator that allows me to look with some, even if price has moved up like it did so fast here, you can see that it's over time, it's crawling out of the market and it's coming down, and now we're bouncing off to zero. Can we drop over into the dreaded red zone, which on my charts is purple? So let's keep an eye out for that. So now we know we have this wick here. We've come down and we've touched the John Wick down here, right? We can see if we had that marked on our charts, possible long entry, right? I was looking a little bit lower. We'll talk about that level in a second. But you can see even on the shorter time frames, we haven't had any clear sign of if we're going to get a retracement back up or was this just a fake out, right? So I think for me, we have broken this key level that we were trading in for so long, since the 20th of January, I believe, right? And we can see that we've broken through this value area low. We've come down. And a lot of people were calling for this short. I'm pretty sure CryptoFace was. I think he's in over here somewhere around 22, around this point of control. Which we wrote a short down here too, right? I just didn't stay in it because I'm more of a scalp trader, which I kind of wish I did. But you know what? You can't wish in this market. We got to look at the charts and see what they're giving us, right? So as we go through the lower time frames, we will look for an in-depth, closer, short setup. But with the market Cipher, money flows coming out over the long term. Everything looks very, very bearish. With this news, it has brought us down. We are tapping off at the top of this level over to our left here as support so far, right? So let's look if we have some gaps down here. Well, we definitely have some gaps to fill, right? Below. We definitely have some of those, right? You can see this quick move up. We have all these gaps that want to be filled. And naturally, I think it's like 90% that these gaps, no, that's CME. CME gaps get filled 90 something percent of the time, which is always a high rate. But there is gaps down here, right? So we are looking for it to come into this previous range. Long term, let's find some levels and zoom out a bit, because you got to always zoom out. Let's get rid of market Cipher. Let's zoom out and let's take some look at the volume here, the VRVP. We can see right now we are touching off this key level right here on the right. And there's a big, massive range, which we traded for, feels like ever, right? That's quite a long time to be trading in this range. Now, can we break through, or will this support us, right? Will this support us? That's the question that everybody has, right? Are we going to see even lower prices? Well, to me, a healthy retracement is a healthy retracement, which means we come back at least to this range previous, right? Right before where we sang Bankman-Fried dumped on these people, right? So everybody, their sentiment is changing. Gary Gensler, the SEC, has come out with no staking in the U.S. against Kraken, and they don't have enough money to really fight it with lawyers, so they're pretty much screwed with the staking area. So easy attack for them. For us, oh, I can see it right now. There's a golden pocket right where we are. I can see it. Once you've been doing this for a bit, you can see that when you pull a fibs, if I pull fibs from here, look, I wish I could show you where I'm going to point. I'm going to pull it to here, right? I'm going to pull it to here, to this second wick where I started the run, right? We've been talking about this second wick. And we got a fibs. Guaranteed we got a fibs. Oh, look at that. Brilliant. Brilliant. Okay, so yes, healthy retracement from this range to this wick here. Why did I go to this wick? Because the wick to the left of it is news. Therefore, I don't like news. I don't know about you guys, but I don't respect news wicks as much as I do as wicks prior to news or after news. It's afternoon. Shout out to you guys. Shout out to the Auto Gang. Thank you so much for joining me. Now, I wanted to say I'm so grateful. We're over 150 subscribers. I'm excited. It's the weekend. It's Friday. You know, shout out to the people who do a full day's work, come home, jump on the charts. Maybe you jump on the charts at lunch break, but shout out to you guys, the common, hardworking man or woman who's out there trying their best to bring in a little bit more income for maybe their family or their loved ones or themselves. Who knows? But I wanted to shout you guys out because I know you're out here grinding, trying to learn TA, and hopefully we're helping you, set you up. So if you come, you watch the stream, you get some levels, you get some ideas, you go, you apply them to your charts. And by doing that, I take some time out of you thinking just by yourself and allow you to make better trades and extract profits and practice good risk management and practice a healthy mindset so that together we can grow as a community and help each other be more profitable and help each other grow each other's capital. That's what we're all about. Padawan Range Bender, early today, Alex O. Let's dump it. Yes, I'm sorry. Normally it's live at 5, but today it was live at 4:45 because guess what? It's Friday. I got home a little bit earlier from work, and it's been a hot work week in Australia, but I'll tell you what, we got through it. We're doing all right. The markets dumped on us this morning right when I'm heading in the truck to head to site, and guess what? Didn't catch the dump, but that's okay. We're gonna look at see what else we can grab. A little bit of patience. Remember, tomorrow is Friday, so the markets are gonna have a little bit of a battle going on with Gary Gensler. Gonna give him the 1-2 jab. Otter Gang. Hopefully we can see some price action, some excitingness, and hopefully we can get prepared for that right now. So thank you so much for joining me, and thank you for your support. I appreciate every single one of you. So let's look. I got levels for us, right? We got levels. Now I have an alarm here. I had a long trade ready for here, and we just wicked down and I missed it, right? Now I have another level here, which is also at the lower level of this support here. But if we zoom out and we look to the left, which we should always be doing, and we turn on some volume, as we can see, we had these levels, not that volume, Alex, this volume. We have some levels over here. Now we can see these high volume spikes as well. Remember, FTX is over here, right? Very important level. We have it marked on our chart with an alarm. We're ready to trade it. We also have this one below here. Now, which one is that? I think that's the 0.5 from the swing low to the swing high, but obviously we're going to double check, right? And when we double check, we can see that, oh, let's turn this off. Okay. Where are we lining up? We are lining up with the bottom there. We are lining with the golden pocket. We probably have heavy volume there. Heavy volume. Oh, point of control. Yes, heavy volume. Let's change that location to over a little bit higher, right? So we got to adjust with volume and with things on the fly. We have the point of control here. Let's make it a little bit lower, right? So that we can have a better idea of where price is going to come to and have a reaction. Now, when I say that, we have multiple reaction levels, right? Will we see a bullish divergence? Will we see a continuation? Will we see extreme amounts of volume that typically pushes through, right? But naturally, looking at this range, because we are up at and coming down from the value area high, naturally the thought has to be that we're going to come down to the point of control, which is all the way down at 19K. So 19K could be in the cards. Anything's in the cards when we see what a little bit of news can do to the market. It happens so quick and so fast, and it's not even that big, and all of a sudden it just dumped. I like the fib from the low at 15.5-ish to the height at 31.4 put in June 7th. 15.5-ish to June 7th. Whew. You bringing us back, my friend. That's why I appreciate you always challenging me to be better, to help me grow, to take a look at things that I'm not necessarily seeing. 15.5-ish. Bada bada boom. All right. We're going to go 15.5-ish because 15.5-ish is cool. To the height at 31.7. 31.7? What? Where are you going all the way up here? Holy smokes, Batman. 31.7. We're going the wrong way. I'm going to go 31.7. 31.8. 7. Holy smokes. 31.4. I should read what you wrote. I'm sorry about that. 31.4. So you do like to pull the fib backwards, eh, you cheeky man? I appreciate you. That's amazing. That is amazing. This is interessant, as they say. Golden pocket, eh? Oh, my Canadian's coming out, eh? I'm like contemplating in Canadian. Well, this is a good bounce level. Like, why not? FTX dump. We were working our way up, all fine and dandy, and then kaboom, right? Close enough. Golden pocket. Brilliant. Love it. I like this. I like long-term ideas. I like long-term levels. They're obviously more important because they're so well respected, right? That's why we go into the dailies. We go into the 5 days. We look. Where has price held still? How many wicks do we got down where we are right now? 1, 2, 3, right? 4, 5, right? Like, that's significant. This is a key level. We have to be recognizing that this is such a key level, right? Shout out to Canadians. I'm Canadian. I've lived in the UK and Australia in the past 3 years during the evil C word and the last year. And you know what? I like them all. It's all pretty good. I feel blessed. I feel blessed to have you guys around and listening. But yes, this is such an important level, right? I would look for this to hold. Maybe we bounce around just underneath it, but it's strong. We know it's strong because the TA shows that it's strong. And we had not even the hugest amount of news to bring us lower. So we do have those levels. Let's zoom in to the 4 hour so we can get this range over to our left. I also wanted to take a look at this range over here to about here. Let's take that and consider this. So we got 2 areas of high volume. So I'll pull a range like this, and then I'll look to where it was most respected rather than going off this value area high and this value area low and this point of control. I'll look just at the volume and the shape of it, right? So when I see the shape, I see its highest here, right here, and I see its highest at the point of control here, right? So those are my 2 areas. So I'm going to draw a horizontal line here and a horizontal line here. And I'm going to look for price to come to these areas and react as well. That's representing Saskatchewan. Shout out to you. Shout out to the Rough Riders. Much love, Saskatchewan. Nobody can pronounce it, especially Americans. And I love the Americans, but I can't even type it, okay? Saskatchewan. And I've gone to school and had it in my geography books. Look, I don't know if I spelt it right. Correct me if I'm wrong. Shout out to Whitehorse. Is that Saskatchewan? That's Saskatchewan. I've driven through Saskatchewan. It's flat as hell. White Horse is not the Yukon. That's Mrs. Otter trying to correct my geography. Oh, Mrs. Otter. Shout out to Mrs. Otter. She's outside right now. What position are you in holding the router so that we get good internet? Upside down crane. Whitehorse is the capital of Yukon. Man, she's British. What's this? What's the capital of Saskatchewan? Regina. Saskatoon. Regina. What did you? That's a dirty word. Don't be saying that on stream. Anyways, back to the TA. Sorry about that. Me and Mrs. Otter having a little discrepancy of our geography. She obviously knows Canadian geography better than I do, and she's British, so that's funny. Okay, so let's take a look. 1 hour. Levels. I see so many bullish signs, but we had the volume to bring us down, right? So this is how I'd be looking at it. Is we had this crazy spike in volume, and we've had a couple of spikes too that have brought us down. This was news over here. We bounced, and we're looking for we're all looking for a short entry, right? I'm pretty sure that's what it's all about. So obviously we have the gap, right? Normally these gaps, right? These tend to get filled. $200 moving average on the 4 hour. We can take a look at that as well. Where's my crown? Crown moving averages. I like Crown's moving averages just because Eric Crown is a legend. And, you know, Eric Crown. Go watch Eric Crown if you want some real statistical minutia. He's the man. Whew, 4 hour. Look at that. Right up the back. All right. Bouncing off the 4 hour. Wow. Confluence. Brewberry Confluence, man. You're out here hunting. That's amazing, man. That's amazing. So where are we at the 6? We're way below. Yeah. Maybe it bounces off the 5. Crown Cross, baby. Yee boy. I'm a Toronto boy. Toronto, Canada. Born and raised. So we have let's change this to the 50. Remember, we have this daily beautiful, everybody's golden cross to the moon. Shows you how well it worked out. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to laugh, but like everybody was like, I even made a video. I'm like, golden cross short term, death cross long term. Because if you go on the weekly, we can see I don't know if it's totally printed, but it's pretty damn close, right? Same moving average DBSI uses for market Cipher. Yeah. T.O. Yeah, boy. Turn this off. Zoom out. So I wanted to look over at Ethereum and Matic because, I mean, if we lose this level, and I don't often trade Ethereum unless I'm in like some serious swing trades built over Bitcoin, and I don't have, obviously, I can't put in multiple trades. But if we look at Ethereum, I was looking at Ethereum, and we have such a big hole down below us that will fall right through. Like, this is huge, right? And Matic looks very similar, right? That we have pushed through this level so many times. Like, the volume is massive in here. So I'm keeping my eye on Ethereum and Matic, because if we go over to Matic, it's similar, but it's higher up, right? Because we're so high. Matic's doing its own thing right now. It's in this channel. I drew it yesterday, which is hard to even draw because it's so vertical. But if we zoom in, we can see it here. And it's just ripping. Like, it doesn't care. It doesn't care. So, obviously, we've had the dump today. It could just be news. Well, it is news. It is news. Not could be. It is news. That doesn't mean that we're going to the basement, my friends. It doesn't. It doesn't. It can mean that we're having a retracement, a healthy retracement that we've been talking about as well. A healthy retracement that can see us brought back up just as quickly, right? Just as quickly. Because even here on the 12-minute, we can see lower lows, higher lows, right? We can see very easily of the bullish divergence we are printing right now, right? Everybody's looking for a short right now. And people are not thinking, what do these market makers, these whales, want to do with retail traders? Well, they've had everybody. I mean, the fear and greed index has transformed over this past month. Bullish January, and all of a sudden everybody thinks we're going to 50K. And now, boom, it drops us on us. And the sentiment, boom, it changes so fast, right? It changes so fast that everybody's now like, oh, back down to 15K. And that's not a healthy way to think, because we're here to extract profits out of the market. As a trader, I was thinking short this whole way down, and I've shorted it multiple times, and I've taken some longs. Don't get me wrong, because I am a scalp trader, and I will hold trades maximum 2-3 days, but not often. I'm normally in and out quick, right? But as an overall sentiment, I always have to zoom out, check the trend. Where are we gonna go, right? We had a trend line drawn here forever, right? We've had it since back here. I got in up here. I could have held this. I think it would be like 10% gains or something like crazy like that. With high leverage, yeah, there you go. Bada boom, right? So right now it's about trading the levels, what's given to us, how do these guys want to react, right? Do they want to continue downwards and roll over, or do they want to pump upwards? Well, with good risk management and having these thoughts and ideas, we can get into those kind of trades. So let's go into my trade setups, and we'll talk about those right now, of how we can get into some healthy trades, because I'm looking for this just like all of you. One thing I find is that there's some people out there who aren't trading the markets, but they're giving technical analysis and their advice in how they trade these things, but they're not trading. It's not very good. I wouldn't want that. So my idea is right now, as a trader and a person who's constantly in the charts, as much as I can be. Obviously, I work a full-time job and I have YouTube here, but we have to take a look and pull our fibs, and I'll show you exactly how I would be trading this. I'm going to pull the range now from over here before we had this big pump. This is exactly what I would do coming home after a day's work. Look at this. This is, I don't know about you guys, but what kind of pattern is this? And keep your minds out of the gutter. That's why it's drawn in the McDonald's NFT style. That's the Wu-Tang pattern. Studying to become a range master. Yeah, boy. Congratulations, range master. We got to trade these ranges. So, let's pull two, actually. Let's keep this one over here. And let's pull one over here. Bouncing off golden pocket. We pulled that one. We're going to pull this one. To this one here. And get rid of this one. I'm going to pull up our bigger TA. So we have that there. So I would even shrink this down now. Let's narrow it down to around here. And this one, I want to bring it up. To around there. That looks good to me. Slowly but surely. So now my alarm comes down below here. $786 lines up with that. Volumes line up with that. Okay. Now I'm going to put in, obviously, my horizontals here. For that range, we know the value area low is right over there. We have a gap in the middle. Now the key with re-entering after a dump is patience. Patience, 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 patience. The way I would like to trade this, I'd go halfway here at the 0.5. But the higher I can get this stop loss with having a risk to reward, something like that, the better, right? The better. So watching price, watch for this bull div to play out, right? But be patient, right? A lot of the time, if we start moving up, I like to watch the RSI and see when it gets to the overbought area. That to me is a good signal on the lower time frames, like the 12. If the RSI here comes all the way up to here, that's the time where I can look to short, right? So I'll have the trade open right here. And on Bybit, you can move it, right? So I'll keep it up here. And as the RSI down below here crawls up, it gives me this opportunity of when I can enter. Does that make sense? Then I can bring this closer, the trade closer, and then bang, I'm in. And that's how I get good entries. I have my areas and my levels, but I'm also able to watch price as it's happening and see it get exhausted, see the volume, see what's happening. See, we had this big volume spike just now, and it's died right off again, right? What do I expect? I expect nothing but a little bit of a crawl up right now, right? So where will I be looking? I'll be looking at this 0.5. Maybe the top of this range for a re-entry. But it's about patience. It's about waiting for a signal and jumping in and practicing good risk management. Because I can jump in right here, right? Let's say I jumped in right here. And if I take profits down here or down here, and it comes back and it knocks me out, I still made some money, right? So it's all about your trading style. It's all about your risk management. And it's all about what kind of trader you are, right? And eventually you'll develop that. For me, if I can get in and out, take some money, and then I'm good, that's great, especially during the weekdays, because I like to trade quick, get out, pay myself, and go to bed. You know, I don't like to sit up with trades all night, keeping the Mrs. Otter up all night, so I have to be patient. Right now, patience is the name of the game. Everybody's all FOMOing in, all not practicing risk management, not sticking to their strategies because they see a big move and they're like, I missed it. I want to trade. I want to make money. And that gets us wrecked, right? That gets us wrecked. It's happened to me multiple times, and I had to learn the lesson the hard way of obviously losing funds along the way. So for me, it's about being patient and not getting too excited just because we moved down. Like Bitcoin just moved down, 500, right? And I'm going to lose my cool or my calmness or my strategy over $500 of a movement in the charts when Bitcoin has moved up to 69,000. You know what I mean? It's moved to the top of previous highs. That's an 80% move from the bottoms right now, right? From where we are right now, it's still a massive 68% move. So let's be patient. Let's accumulate. Fair value gaps. These are commonly filled. Yes, sir, they are. Yes, sir, or else they wouldn't be a thing, right? Fair value gaps. Go ahead and get that smart money concepts Luxalgo. Get on your lower time frames, and you can find them all over the place, right? And price will typically work its way back to those, right? Typically. Now, there's also something called CME gaps, and that's on Bitcoin futures, and those have like a 90% fill rate, and there's one below us. I can't remember exactly where it is, but on CME gaps, which is just kind of like the S&P or anything like that, where, you can see that there's gaps like here, right, or here, or here. Price typically comes back and fills these gaps. You can see gap comes up, fills it. Gap comes up, fills it, right? Gap comes up, fills it. Right? It's very common. Very, very common. But you can see right here, S&P 500 is getting rejected at this key level of resistance. It's been knocked down 14184. It's been knocking it back down, right? Multiple attempts at coming up, hasn't succeeded. Not doing too well on the S&P, right? Looks like it's been rejected. Double top, boom, straight down, right? The Dixie's pumping. Nope, Dixie's kind of going sideways. So that's how we know that's how we know that the news has brought us down. It's not necessarily the dollar and how it's reacting. It's holding above this range. But right now it's the news, in my opinion, that has brought us down for the most part. Good chance we trace up to fill the FVG. That would be a safer bet, in my opinion, right? So I'm looking to ladder into a position because I've missed this. So I'll be sharing my strategy. But yes, I would pull a fibs here, and we can see that the point, that's not a fibs. That is a fib. But I'd pull a fibs here, and we can see that obviously this gap is right here, and 0.5 is at our, like this would be a great entry, in my opinion. But will we work our way up? Will we miss that trade? So is it better for me to get in maybe, let's say, the 382 with 10% of my trade, then put 50% of my trade in at 0.5, and then have an extra 10%, have the rest up at the golden pocket if we happen to get there, right? So I'll get in with a small amount, small margin, and then I'll put my bigger amount in, so that'll bring my entry, it'll average out, but it'll bring it higher, much higher, because it's my bigger amount. And then in case it does move up even higher, I can put in the rest of it up here. So I'll land somewhere around this vicinity, which is still a good entry in my opinion, right? If we're looking to swing long entry into a position, right? Otherwise, if you're going all in right away, then it's patience and then bang, you got to hit the trigger, right? So there is a very good chance that we retrace, but be patient. Remember, it's been a big downwards movement and we never know where price is going to go. So it's all about mindset, pulling your levels, being ready to trade it. If you get a sign, if you get a big bearish divergence somewhere around here, and why wouldn't you jump in, right? Why wouldn't you? Look for other signals, other confluences throughout the charts to help us recognize where price is going to go. Right now we're getting a bull div, right? Simple bull div, right? So this should bring us up naturally. Whereabouts? Well, we have obviously each high can be a level of resistance. So here and here, right? And then we have the 0.5 of this gap here, right? Which is also the 0.5 of our fib retrace. We can also pull a fib, I'm sure, from up here to down here. And we can see that we bounced off perfectly here, and we're bouncing off the 0.5 currently. So there's many ways to look at this and jump in. For me as a scalper, I like to just quickly jump in and out. So right now I can see that we're working our way up. I will look for exhaustion in this price action, right? I will look for price to crawl up. Right now it's bouncing off to 0.5, right? So I'll look for it to crawl up. Oops, that swapped. I'll look for it to crawl up because we had this big wick down, probably trying to get people to FOMO in short. People FOMO'd in short, came up, wrecked them, collected some money. Market maker was like, haha, I got you, right? Don't be those guys, right? We can see that we have the bull div here. We're going to probably continue our way up and then look for exhaustion around this high and some sort of signal or something around here, right? And as price moves, we'll be ready to make that trade. And that's kind of my plan right now for the short term. Long term, well, I'm looking to see how the market reacts tomorrow because tomorrow's Friday for most people, and it'll give us a better sign going into the weekend because we know that weekends have less volume naturally. So depending on how they set up for the weekend could dictate how the market's going to move, right? Can we open up in the green tomorrow or in the red? Depending on how we open up and how the markets behave is how I'll make my longer term decisions. Is there danger sitting in the low volume gap? I'm not exactly sure what you mean by danger sitting in the low volume gap, but those are kind of my setups. I appreciate all your questions. I try to answer them to the best of my ability. This is how I'm trading this. Overall, this is pretty bearish. We've finally come down fully. So look for price to work its way down because right now the trend is our friend until the end, like they always say. But naturally, unless it's like over here to our left where we pumped like crazy, unless it's like that, we're going to have to retrace our way down, right? So something like this would be more healthy, right? Depending on how far it wants to go. Correct? Correct. Right? Price doesn't typically move like it did. It went sideways for a bit, but, this was pretty wild. It did not really, stop. Now, we've had a change in structure and maybe a little retrace and then continue downwards. But we got to wait to see what they put in for this weekend, right? Because typically price will move in like a very respectful, even though this is a bad example, it's not this FTX news, right? So be patient out there and take down these levels. Be ready to trade. Practice good risk management. Join us in the Discord. Subscribe if you haven't already. I appreciate every single one of you. I'm going to head out because Mrs. Otter's made us some, what are we having? Greek wraps. Amazing. I'm spoiled rotten. And I hope to spoil you guys as well with my ideas and my thoughts. And hopefully we can grow together. So join us in the Discord. Subscribe. Much love to all of you. Peace out. I'll talk to you and I'll see you in the Discord. Have a good evening, good day, good morning. Whatever you're having, make sure it's good. Be legendary, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace out. Mrs. Otter?
Yeah?
How do you say tzatziki? Tzatziki. I say tatsiki. Bye.